What's up, guys? Got a couple hogs here. Figured it was worth showing kind of the way that I've been getting meat off of them so far. These ones aren't too huge, so they're pretty easy to manage. But for the most part, I'm definitely not claiming to be the best or the most experienced at this. But since I've been doing hunting hogs, this is the way I've been able to get backstrap, hams, shoulders, things like that. These are a little smaller, probably not going to have as much meat on the legs, but we're definitely going to get the back straps, dice them up, probably do some tacos, something like that. So just kind of a rough and dirty way I've been doing it, typically on the ground, and also just with simple knives, you know, no rack or anything like that. So that's what we're going to show now. Alright, so the first place I started was YouTube, looking up things, and I found a video using these, I believe they're called Raptor razor knives. Got a pair, and they turned out to be pretty handy. I like the way they work, super easy and ergonomical, so that's what I've been using for the most part. And the way I'll typically start is, I guess, what you would call a gutless method. I really don't mess with anything up there because none of the meat, nothing we're trying to get is there at the moment. One day I may get into some organ meat and stuff like that, but for now, this is where we start. First thing is I'll typically grab them by the tail here in the back, punch a little hole with just this straight blade, and then from there you've got the Raptor razor one, basically like a gut hook type of deal. Just get it under that skin and just pretty easily come back up right to the back of the neck. Once you've got the back open a bit, I'll take that same razor part, get it kind of in that ankle sort of area where the leg bends down here, and you just kind of spin it around, and it'll typically cut it nice and clean. A little finishing there. And then you've got a start and stop, or vice versa. And from there, use that same gutting hook and just work my way up. Try not to snag the meat so much, just stay right under the skin. Cut it up to your incision here. And from here, pretty easy. It's actually got a blade on the back of this that I like to use for cutting away the skin. And you just can kind of sit there, hold it with one hand, and peel it back pretty easily. It's tough on these hogs not to get hair in there, but just kind of do the best you can. And just peel it away a little bit at a time to expose that shoulder. This particular one, the exit wound of the arrow is actually through this shoulder, so not a ton of meat there to begin with on the shoulders, especially on these smaller ones, but I'll show you the process anyways. Cut down through here, and this is super simple for the most part. It really just kind of peels itself away as long as you got a good sharp knife. Do that around both sides, and you can pull back the side of it here too to kind of get a little more space. Open up the back side of that shoulder. And just work your way all the way down. So the shoulder is actually pretty much the easiest as far as taking it off. Little tricky as far as holding and everything, especially up on this table on the ground. You can kind of use your legs and things like that a little bit better, but you can see all the little pieces of skin and things that keep it all attached. Just keep working your way back, and you'll pretty much know if you do it right. I mean, just stay along the meat and it'll just keep peeling. This front here. And then once you get just behind that kind of elbow, it'll free up to where you can see a nice clean front leg, basically like that. Peel this back there. Alright, so I just kind of peeled down this flap to give us a little more room to work with, try to prevent as much hair as possible from getting in there. But like I was saying, the shoulders are super easy once you get everything around it. All these kind of muscles and things holding things together, it actually just comes right off. Try to get a little bit extra meat on there. Go right around the shoulder blade, and that's it. That's the exit hole of my arrow, shoulder blade. Quite a bit of nasty bloody stuff, so I'm not gonna eat that one. All right, now I've opened up basically the side flap, got the front shoulder off, gonna move to the back ham, and similar process, just there's not really much past this little sort of elbow deal, so we can go there if we want. And you're just gonna take the knife, work your way around it through the skin and whatever ligaments, things like that. Comes through there. And then same thing, we've already got the slit down the back. This will cut up under the skin and get it up to that point. Just like that. And you don't get caught under the meat and everything, it works very nice. Same thing, just peeling this flap away, getting the skin back. Usually try to start back here so where you don't cut too much of the hair first. You just get it back and out of the way, nice and clean. Same deal, you just work your way all the way around the outside of the leg first, just to get the hairy skin away from everything. And once you do that, you can kind of work your way in a little closer and do the fine cutting to detach the back leg. Do the fine cutting to detach the back leg. Here you do got to be a little careful. Once you start going to detach the hip, you are going to probably see some of the guts, and you do not want to break that open. So you've got most of the ham exposed now. Cut this last bit of skin away from it more or less, and then just work your way in on the inside. Again, gotta be a little delicate. Do not want to puncture anything that we're not trying to get. And you just kind of punch this in right to that hip bone. And this is actually a socket, so you'll see the socket here, and it just pops right out of socket. Finish cutting your way through the meat. You got your ham, and this already snapped. You can usually just twist it, get it most of the way off, cut that last tendon. There's your ham. Boom. Put that in the cooler. Good to go there. Alright, last but not least, we're dealing with the back strap. Runs on either side of the spine. So you can just find that backbone. I've peeled away the skin a little bit past it, so it's nice and easy to access. Start up here, kind of in that neck, shoulder area. Just cut along that spine, which is going to transition down along the ribs. And you can literally just run the blade along the bone. This side is pretty easy to identify. Once you kind of get one end of the back strap free, then you just can peel it all the way down. You have to be careful a little bit here. Once you get behind the ribs, yeah, it's not much. Once you get behind the ribs, they stop, and then you're in the guts again, so you don't want to puncture that. But yeah, smaller hog, not a ton of meat, but just an example at least to kind of show how to break it down a little more manageable and everything. So this is the way I've been doing it. Again, far from the most experienced, not even the best at this method, but if you're looking to get out the woods, get some hog meat, that's a decent way to start. I think that's how I started. So we've eaten a few, so that's the way I do it. Thanks.